We have with us Sanjana, who has secured an All India rank of 7 in CLAT 2022. And while it is yet to be confirmed, that's in all probability the All Karnataka rank 1. Right? So CLAT results were released yesterday night. So when did you get to know?
The instant it was released.
Right. So you were waiting for it.
Yeah, I was constantly refreshing it just to see.
Right. So what was the first reaction?
Just disbelief. Like, I was silent for a whole minute.
Okay.
Yeah, then I
Good.
started jumping around the room.
Right. And what did your parents say?
Yeah, like same thing. Like all of us, my whole family were like jumping around the room and we disturbed the neighbors and all.
Okay, great. I think valid reason to disturb the neighbors, if any. Right. So when did you first get this idea that you want to take up law seriously, and when did you start your preparation?
Okay, 11th grade, I guess, October, November of 2020. I was actually in CBSE science and preparing for like JE and all. And then I was just going through law, and it seemed really interesting to me at the time. So like the more and more I read into it, it became like more appealing to me, and that's when I just decided that's what I would do.
And support from the family and friends, or was there any resistance?
Of course, a little at first because it's like a complete new direction, but there was always support from. Like once I decided, there was like complete support from my family and friends.
Right. And you enrolled with Career Launcher at Indiranagar Center, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how was the experience with Career Launcher as such?
Oh, it was really good, especially Animesh sir. Like a lot of credit goes to Animesh sir. So he was like mentoring and guiding me throughout. I don't think I could have done it without him.
Wonderful. And how did the mock scores progress? Were you always in the top, or there was a more
No,
of a linear progression?
it was a linear progression for sure. It started off like my first mock score was like 60s, and then it went like upwards slowly. And like especially after like I started doing GK, like there was a steady increase.
So what was the GK strategy? What are the sources that you were working with?
I think like personally, I would say a study group really helps with GK. You can split sources and just compile it together in a document, and like that divides the work and makes it easier to read also. And you can cover most sources that way. So I think a study group would be best for
So
you.
the study group helps you get comprehensive notes taken from multiple
Yeah,
sources, which you can revise
and also
multiple.
you can quiz each other.
Right. So how many people in your study group?
Like I know a lot of people who I've done GK with together, and all of them have done really well.
Right. Good. So what specifically worked as far as CLAT 2022? Any comments about the paper itself?
Well, the GK was like no one expected that, but it still gave me an advantage because like I'd studied like it so comprehensively that I'd somehow read everything somewhere. So at the back of your head, there's something so you can make an educated guess, and it could go your way, and like a lot of things did for me. So I think GK is like really important. And that's like after a point, that's the only thing you just keep revising and studying because after a point, there's not much practice you can do for the other sections except mocks.
Okay. So strategy-wise, in terms of your time, how do you allocate between different sections, and what's the number of attempts that you normally attempt in a mock?
I attempt 150 every mock.
All the questions,
Yeah, I attempt all the
including all
questions
GK?
in all GK.
Right.
Unless
Educated.
like the GK is like I have no idea between four options, then I leave it. But if I can eliminate even one, I attempt it.
Okay, that's good. So what would you say to students who are preparing for 23 and 24 CLAT?
Consistency, I guess. Not like working like 8 hours a day every day until, but just like every day something, do the bare minimum even. There were like times, stretches where like 2 weeks I did the only bare minimum, like 10 minutes of flat prep every day. But it was fine because over a long run, it makes a difference because you're like at it every day. And like one day you do like 4 5 hours, and then the next you do like 10 minutes. It's okay because it's a marathon. It's not a race. So just
Right. So
keep at it
this,
for a long time. That's
so
all.
when you have something like boards, you reduce the time, but you still, don't
Yeah,
make it zero.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, great. So any particular time when you felt ki it is not going well or things are not improving the way you want to, you felt a little disappointed, the kind of
There
low.
are phases where your scores and marks stagnate and all, but that just means like you need to change things up a bit. You've been doing the same thing, so just like new ways of doing GK, new ways of quizzing, like just take different type of just take different marks, like that kind of thing. Just change things up a bit if things get too stagnant. And for me, that's what happened. Like there were phases where my mark scores were dipping a little, and then when I changed things up, it increased again. So.
So anything for critical reasoning, an area that a lot of students, are worried about or concerned about, they get, slightly larger number of errors compared to other sections.
So just be marks, more and more marks. Just take as many marks as you can.
Okay, good. So what's the celebration plan? Or you're saying, okay, enough celebration, I want to join the college right away.
Just going out in the evening and all.
Not going on a holiday or something, short trip somewhere.
No.
Okay, right. And you would expect to see some of the friends that you prepared with you join you
Yeah, yeah,
at NLS.
yeah.
Right. Good, good. So that's great. Any last words?
Just keep going. All the best to everyone preparing.
Right. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Sanjana, for sharing. I'm sure these tips will be pretty useful for aspirants for both the December exam and afterwards. And really, really best wishes to you. Hope you become a really successful lawyer.
Thank you
Right.
so much. Thank you
And
for
don't
seeing
forget to enjoy your 5 years at NLS.
me. Will do. Okay.
I
Thank
think
you.
that's, I think it. That's a wrap.